Hello everyone, you are welcome to Health Matters. Health is worth and worth is health on ABL TV. We are streaming live 24/7 on Freeview, IPTV, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, and all the other social media. So please kindly share, subscribe, and press the notification button. So today we've come to you once again to discuss another important health condition, and I have my ladyship here, Gladys, who is my co-host, to discuss this health condition called high cholesterol. You are welcome to ABL TV, Gladys.
Thank you, Sister Amma. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so Sister Gladys, what is high cholesterol?
So thank you, Sister Amma. Cholesterol, to be fair, has a bad name in a way. We hear of cholesterol and it's all like, oh, red hats on, it's bad, but it's not all bad. Cholesterol, it's a type of blood fat that is made in the liver. 90% of it is made in the liver, and the rest, 80 to 90%, the rest, we get it from our food. Cholesterol has a very important purpose to do, like every other thing in our body. So you have very important work to do. So cholesterol help to make biles, which help to digest the fats that we eat. It's also help us with our vitamin D, and it helps the brain as well. So cholesterol has a very good job to be done. So it's not always bad. It's as you said, when it's high, it's what we don't want it to be.
Yeah, to add to what you just said, yes, the research has shown us, when you read in the health papers, the research, it says that all the body cells in our body needs cholesterol in order for it to function. So like what you said, immediately you tell someone, oh, you mentioned cholesterol, that it has a bad name. But in another sense, it's not always bad. And to add to what you said, we have the good and the bad cholesterol, which the good is what always we want, and even the bad aspect as well. Sometimes we need that in order to help our body, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you go and measure your cholesterol, they will measure the good. They will tell you the total cholesterol level and what we call HDL. And which is the good one, high density lipoprotein, and then you have the bad one, which is the LDL, which is the low density lipoprotein. So that has a bit, and that, so together will give us what the overall total cholesterol is.
And listeners, as with other health conditions, normally when I'm discussing, I'll tell you, oh, we have the symptoms, you will feel this, you have that. But fortunately or unfortunately, with cholesterol, there's no symptoms. You will not know whether you have the high cholesterol or your cholesterol is low until you've gone and checked. We check, and then your doctor or your GP will let you know that you have a high cholesterol. So with not having symptoms, how can we check? How can we know that someone has a high cholesterol or their cholesterol is okay?
So there's two ways to know. It's mainly by blood test. So it's either a full blood test, which is taken from your arm, or it can be done like you do a finger prick for diabetics. So as part of your 40 years health check that we mentioned previously, when they do it, it is more likely to be a prick. They prick you and measure, and then they will tell you. So that will give them a baseline, so that if it is up, then they might send you for a blood test. So these are the two ways that you can check your cholesterol.
Yeah, so we always we say life starts at 40. So when you hit that number that year, just try as much as possible to go not on a frequent basis, but at least regularly to your GP to have those checks. Sometimes I thought people, they normally send a letter to people that do they.
I mean, they used to send letters, but as I'm saying these days, especially with winter coming, we've got COVID still hanging around. You know, everyone is overworked and the work volume is high. So if you haven't been sent a letter for your 40 health check, then please contact your GP and get it done.
Yeah, so with what Gladys was saying, with the blood test, normally before you go, it's not always the case, but what I've noticed is we normally will tell the patient before 12 hours to your time for that blood test to be checked, don't eat. So please, when you are giving such instructions, please follow it. I know it's to have it's like you are fasting, not to have food for 12 hours, but it's for a reason and for a purpose. So when you are told not to eat within that 12 hours, please do that. Go after you've had your test, and normally you get, after a few days, you will get the results. And if it's high, then further investigations will be done by your GP. They will refer you for further investigation. So then who do we say are at risk of having a high cholesterol?
So again, if you have family history, it's important. There is, you did mention like there's two types, the good and the bad cholesterol. The good one being that it carries, the fat is carried to the liver, so it can deposit it out as a waste product, whereby the bad one carries the fat and want to get it into the blood vessels, which we don't want. But there are also some people, which is called genetic high cholesterol. So they have cholesterol from a younger age. So that one is genetic. They have abnormally high cholesterol than the normal average person. And again, the same way that we get checked out is, or family history usually helps the doctor to know how to identify and diagnose, to give them treatment. Most of these people would need treatment for the people with the genetic ones. But again, everything else, your age, weight, your age, your sex, your weight, especially when you put weight around. When you put weight around your mid-session, you put weight around your mid-session, that can put you into high-risk category. You eat a lot of fatty, saturated food that put you at risk as well. Smoking is another one. Smoking is another one, and alcohol. Yes.
So, like to add with your height, if you are your height as well, your weight, your sex, your ethnicity, and if you have a family history of a mom. When we say family history, your immediate family, your mom, your dad, maybe had a high cholesterol, then you are for high risk of you having cholesterol. So there's some of the things that, and your age as well, as you need to, these are some of the risk factors. So when you fall into that, always please let it be, try as much as possible. When I was going through, it says at least when you are 40 and above, every 5 years you go and check your cholesterol. You check, but I'm thinking 5 years is even long time, isn't it? To wait for 5 years to go and check your cholesterol or check your blood pressure.
I mean, if you're eating healthy, you don't have family history, and you're exercising and you're doing everything that you need to do, ideally it should be okay. But if you have all the risk factors, especially family history, then you want to monitor it. Or sometimes it's on borderline, so it needs to be kept eye on as well. Yeah.
So we knowing the risk factor, those who are at risk, and what's cholesterol. So what are some of the risks of cholesterol? If you have high cholesterol, what are some of the things that you might?
Yeah, so if you have high cholesterol, it puts you into a high risk of developing heart attack or stroke. Yeah. So it does. These are some of the risks that it will put you into: heart attack or stroke. And as we've said, lately, young people are getting heart attacks and stroke. So it is very important that we make it a point that we will be getting all our health MOTs.
Yes, health MOTs. I like that way. Yeah, because as we said, it's fat. Even just imagine when normally you use fat oil at home and you put it in a drain, you constantly put it in a drain. A time comes that it blocks. So it's the same thing. If you keep on eating fatty foods and it blocks your vessel, your blood vessel, which stops it from working, then you end up having stroke and having heart attack. So what are some of the things that we can do to, lower? If we have cholesterol, we can lower it, and if we don't, what are some of the things that can prevent us from having high cholesterol?
Yeah, thank you. Again, it sounds like everything kind of boils down to healthy eating. We cannot emphasize it enough. One person said, eat your food like medicine, and you never have to take medicine. So, healthy eating. Cholesterol is more of fat. So if we are eating a lot of saturated fat food that are high in fats, like your sausages, your bacons, your burgers, and when we come to our local ones, your chofi, ufa chofi, wow, mia, sradie mia out, think about it, when in a and send your kind. So we will drain now what this oil you guma. Sometimes a blockade. So what you say, fatty foods, as I said, you making sure say you be lower your diet. Name me replacing with more vegetables and fruits. Now why?
Yeah, and also we can also, like what you are saying, the food that we eat, we can even change the way we prepare them. Sometimes someone will prepare stew and you see loads of oil on the like. Because someone said to me that the way he gets to know the stew is ready, it's cooked, is when there's oil. Lots of oil comes on it means it's well cooked. It shouldn't be that way. You can just use small oil to prepare your stew. And as I keep on saying, even some of the vegetables, if you don't want to see it like physically, maybe to put you off from eating, you can blend them and just add it to your stew. Carrots is you can add it to your soup. You can also add it to your stew when you blend, especially when you have kids who don't want to eat the vegetables. You can do that and they will not even notice they are eating those vegetables. And we can exercise as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And on the food, I want us to dwell a bit more on the food because it's so important. We eat it 3 or 4 times a day. So you were saying about how to cook your stew as well. So sometimes ufa oil kakrebia udi nsuo tisa wo chiwu drain na udi nsuo guma a man soft, you still able to get a soften
yeah,
because oil ne nose into the nsuo kakra fra a man is soften na eja wodo niema akeka ho using spices and things will also like help into the srade no bebre ti sa abem kwan abem kwan yede maybe your latini to make am kwan abem kwan yede but oil na we ni no bi wo ha sa abem kwan oil ni or any other soup oil ni
it's not good.
Enya kono.
Yeah.
So what you say? But here all that oil, you know, say aduane di oils bi te say coconut oil, bi te say palm oil. Oil bi a eda. Just think about it. So woody a sa na ekoda wo untini mu. Sa wo ho. Into no olive oil, say no, a year is been testified, said British High Foundation, say olive oil, and two you suma with Diania. Again, say a year no near the kakra, you know, say ya bro free, ya shall send your moon near ya. Omo you so oil bebre, send ye. Into near maybe or why a year as see you soon. Na ye de kahu. Obi babies has said, who are cholesterol to me dim kosiana. Can you eat eggs? So egg has cholesterol in the yolk. But apparently research shows to say egg cholesterol however, the amount of cholesterol obema here is 30 grams. Intia crazy. Oba there 20 grams. Egg ba kono emma will almost 70% of your daily requirement. Inti sa wuchi chofia wuchi egg ede chibom one more yeah with the 4 or 5 eggs your body doesn't need all of that. Inti be a egg ba kono is enough for you. So what I say? Five
eggs. The whole week we eat the whole week's eggs for one day. Yeah, and also people who eat. I'm not saying we shouldn't eat cakes, but you see someone with cake, with cream, with custard. It's like, I'm living a good life. Yes, we can live a good life and also be healthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ubedi akakrebi and untimi nkase mindi bikra, but many minimal. As we say, you only need about 20 grams of cholesterol a day. We are bema we here 30. Into eno esetra we say we here bebre. Into bedia and kakrebi. Na mumu cholesterol na yet to say oily fish, mackerel, avocado. Any adeno, enu momono, yema enu momo ye nnuane a yenyusu enu instead of the saturated. Nsana me can be say, o pese we ye shito. Watch wonchi na mu. Watch anti oil no watch musana abeye saturated.
Yeah.
It is almost like the bad
or a bad
fat now.
Yeah, the bad.
Nemo menu na o de beye wo shito into we shito na enka me pack say use fresh oil.
Yeah.
Not just a munchi bebresa. And ye stew no sir. Aya yen chimu bebre because na
all the nutrients
again not fat no oil now will break it down when never saturated again.
Yeah. And we can eat brown rice. I know it takes longer to cook, but it's one of the healthiest rice as well we can eat. Bread, pasta, nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, mackerel, like what you said. They are all those. We are not saying you shouldn't eat any of this at all, but at least they are there for us to eat. Those are some of the things. Sometimes the food that doesn't look nice, they are the ones that are much healthier for us. And in saying that, some of the things that we can also do in order to lower our cholesterol is when we don't drink too much. If you are somebody who likes your alcohol, please try and minimize it. Smoking. If you smoke a lot as well, you have high rates of getting high cholesterol. And if you think that you are having problems of stopping your smoking or drinking, you have issues with your drinking, we have a lot of organizations out there who can support you and help you. And they are confidential. You can go to your GP, you can send you a referral, and you get help from from them. Then there are some activities that we can also do, which walking, swimming, and cycling as well, which it helps us. I know most of us will say, oh, we don't swim, but you can walking. I always say walking because you can. That's what I like walking. You can stop 3 or 2 stops from your house, which you can just go, and it's your exercise for the day, which can help.
It's about making it a priority. Say the body needs this, just like you need food. So it has to be a priority. And we have to invest in our body in a sense, investment in a sense that keeping it healthy, exercising, having enough rest, they are also important. It's a must. We have to do well to improve on those things.
Okay. So to conclude, or to add to what Ladyship has just said, if you have a high cholesterol and you've tried all that and it's not working, you have to see your GP, because when you see your GP, there are some medication, there are things that they can give you which will lower your cholesterol, which are tablets, statins, injection. Then you can also, with the lifestyle changes, you add it to it, and it will help you. So with last words, Ladyship, Gladys.
So the last kakra mekane said, all these diseases and all these risk factors that we've talked about, they are real, but there are things that, as we said, we can do now. As Tesco would say, every little helps. The little changes that we will do today will help us in the long run to have a healthy life, and hopefully we will avoid all these blood pressures, cholesterol, and things like that. So let's be mindful. Family history is so important. Some of us, when we go to hospital and they ask us family history, even when we know, we don't tell them. It's very important. It helps the clinician to diagnose and help them to know what is going on. So please, if you know our family history, if you don't know, it's good to ask your parents, was there anything in the family that you need to know? It will go a long way to help someone stop having, not to develop high blood pressure or cholesterol, avoid stroke, heart attack, and things like that. The white people mostly are good in sharing the family history than our own people. So the little in summary, high cholesterol can only be identified by having a blood test done, and as we've discussed, we know if you know you have a high risk of developing it, please go see your GP and get it checked. Keep up with your exercises, healthy eating, as Lady Amma would say, health is wealth, wealth is health.
Thank you, Lady Gladys. And thank you for coming to share with us and to discuss with us. So ladies and gentlemen, please, as we've learned, I hope you wrote down some things. Just like, share, subscribe, press the notification button so that others can also learn from what we've discussed. And please keep on sending in your comments so that we will also, we will answer most of your comments, and so it can help others to also make changes to their lifestyle. So as I always say, please visit your GP, visit your pharmacy, let them check for you. It's free of charge. Free of charge. Just walk in. The same way we go for our shopping weekly, the same way we celebrate our birthdays yearly, or the same way we do our MOTs. Let's do MOTs on ourselves, especially our men. Most of the women, at least sometimes because of pregnancy, you go to hospital and they will do all sorts of checks on you. But what about the men? it's just few of them that always take it upon themselves to go to a GP, and they only even go to their GP when they have maybe symptoms for a long time, or their wives or whoever they are with put pressure on them to go and check. So please, let's try as much as possible to take hold of our health so that we can live the life that God has given us. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and I'll see you next week. I'm not out of words, but I'm out of time. So thank you, stay blessed, and see you next week.
Thank you.